Qantas has announced a significant expansion to its international network as it looks to add more flights to destinations right around the globe. The significant expansion will reflect Qantas's ambition to meet travel demand and allow Australians more travel options. Ultimately, they'll see 1 million more seats added to the international network operated by the airline over a year-long period set to begin in October. The company says they'll need 300 more pilots and cabin crew, and has already looked towards One World partner Finnair to add 2 additional Airbus A330s from them to meet demand on a lease. Reflecting the growth, they'll surpass pre-pandemic numbers, which is positive for the Australian industry, that is for sure. However, the airline continues to scramble for crews, pilots, and a whole lot more to actually make these routes possible. And that is a lot easier said than done. Qantas CEO Alan Joyce, who will depart very soon, commented by saying Qantas has been the most on-time major domestic airline for the past 8 months in a row, and that improved performance means we can release some of the aircraft we've had in reserve. That reflects more parts of the aviation supply chain returning to normal, and it's a huge credit to the hard work of our people across the group. Qantas has continued returning its world's largest passenger plane, the A380, back to more routes and just generally service as they try and meet that additional capacity. Meanwhile, more 787s will arrive this Australian winter and be deployed on the network. These 787s have been delayed multiple years, as Qantas has battled with the pandemic and delays on the side of Boeing in delivering the aircraft. It has meant actually welcoming them on may have been harder than initially expected. While these 787s are technically newly delivered, some have actually been in storage for multiple years in warm weather conditions. The Australian flag carrier went on to further add that decisions should only positively impact their operations, and one of the more underlying points, airfares. As expected, the flying public have a lot more to say on that matter, and do tend to disagree. How that pans out remains to be seen. The following changes to the network will be made from October onwards. This is just a brief overview to the many changes that'll take place. If you'd like a full comprehensive overview, you can either view the article on djsaviation.net or the Qantas news release. But very generally, Melbourne to Los Angeles will see flights increase to 9 per week, and this will boost capacity with the addition of the A380. Sydney to New York will also get a boost. Australia to Tokyo will actually see flights double from 14 to 28 per week, and this is both seen in Sydney and Melbourne alongside Brisbane. Sydney to Shanghai, Sydney to Hong Kong, and Melbourne to Hong Kong will also all see boosts. Meanwhile, Singapore will see flights increasing from both Melbourne and Sydney. India will also get a boost, with Melbourne to Delhi increasing to 6 per week over the Australian summer season. And if you're talking Trans-Tasman services, well, there'll also be increases there. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. I definitely want to do a follow-up video on this Qantas news, as I think from all of this, probably some of the more controversial news is related to the Finnair A330s coming into the Qantas fleet. There is very much a mixed reaction there, and I think that is something I want to break down. So stay tuned for that. Enjoy your weekend, take care, and I'll see you next time.